Hey everybody, welcome back. So, in between videos, I wanted to make sure that I clarified what I was trying to say about the history of Teldrassil as a tree. I want to make it clear that it was Staghelm who grew the tree without the approval of others, including the dragon aspects. Just to make sure I clarified some of this stuff, I want to make sure, so I actually went to the Wowpedia site to recheck up uh, on my history that it was created shortly after Warcraft 3, because if you guys remember in Warcraft 3, when we used Nordrassil against Archimonde, Malfurion said doing so would cause the Night Elves to lose their immortality. Well, a lot of Night Elves were not okay with that later on and kind of wanted to have their immortality back. So, Staghelm went ahead and did it, though he also did it to his own means. But it's also worth noting, I also misspoke when I said that he was Xavius' lackey. That's actually not true. It's more accurate to say that Staghelm was broken. Staghelm witnessed something horrible happen to his son right in front of him. It killed him, and Staghelm basically broke on the inside after that. And it eventually, snowballs into what eventually happens in the Firelands, with him joining the Druids of the Flame and us having to go stop him in the Firelands along with Ragnaros. But anyways, just to reiterate some of this stuff, that this tree was not blessed by the dragon aspects at its birth, unlike Nordrassil was, which did leave it vulnerable to the corruption of the Emerald Nightmare. However, just before the Cataclysm, it would receive the blessings of Alexstrasza and Ysera. All known lingering corruption was finally purged during the Cataclysm. And just to reiterate the history here, after the cataclysmic events of the second invasion of the Burning Legion, Malfurion Stormrage became trapped in the Emerald Dream. In Malfurion's absence, Archdruid Fandral Staghelm took over leadership of the Night Elven Druids and convinced the Circle of the Ancients in Darkshore that it was time for the Night Elves to create a new world tree and regain their immortality. The Circle of the Ancients and the Wise Druids, led by Fandral, combined their powers to grow an immense tree in the Veiled Sea. They called the tree Teldrassil, meaning the crown of the earth, in Darnassian. The Night Elves made their new home of Darnassus in the boughs of Teldrassil, creating a forest of mighty trees and flowing rivers, bathed in the endless night that fell over the lands of the Elves from the dawn of time. However, the tree did not restore the Night Elves' immortality. Nosdormu, whose blessing on Nordrassil had been the source of their immortality, saw the Night Elves' wish as arrogant and refused to bless Teldrassil. Over time, the land atop Teldrassil fell into the shadow of a sinister presence. Local creatures such as furbolgs and grell went mad, and satyrs appeared. That's why we encountered a satyr not too long ago in the first part of this run, the previous video. Intent on further corrupting the land. This is mainly due to the nightmares you'll see here. The source of this corruption remained a mystery for some time until the conflict of the Emerald Nightmare spilled into the waking world. During the Scourge invasion, Wrath, Teldrassil was attacked by the Scourge. And now it references what happened in the Stormrage book that I was telling you about. I think I have that book, or at least the audiobook, and I haven't listened to it yet. I should listen to that. There's a number of Warcraft audiobooks I haven't sat down and listened to, but I plan on doing so. I'm working my way through another one at the moment. Plus, I just finished Shadows Rising, so getting excited for Shadowlands. After Malfurion was freed from the Emerald Nightmare, he flew to Darnassus and discovered that a remnant of a great evil had been grafted into Teldrassil by Fandral. By grafting Xavius's fell-tainted branch, so this is what I was trying to talk about earlier. Fandral grafted Xavius's fell-tainted branch into Teldrassil. Fandral had given Xavius, as well as the evil behind his transformation into the Nightmare Lord, a tie to both Azeroth and the Emerald Dream. Malfurion managed to remove the corrupt branch and eventually restore the tree to a state closer to what it originally should have been. Alexstrasza, impressed that the tree could prosper alone without her influence or her kin's, blessed it belatedly. She later blessed it again, along with Ysera this time. During the wedding of Malfurion and Tyrande, a blessing which protected Teldrassil to its final day. The tree flourished even more under the gifts from the Lifebinder and the Dreamer, though it still cannot return the Night Elves' immortality without a blessing from Nasdormu. And then Cataclysm came around. Around the time of the Cataclysm, the Worgen arrived to cleanse Teldrassil. When Malfurion checked the heart of the World Tree, there was no apparent corruption. The Archdruid, however, remained vigilant, as he knew that pockets of the taint remained in the Emerald Dream, so Teldrassil was still vulnerable. Some time later, Teldrassil's recovery slowed. Gotta make sure I don't go AFK. Recovery... I lost my place. Recovery slowed, and signs of the Nightmare's corruption resurfaced. Though already burdened by political tension and the vast destruction unleashed by the Cataclysm, the Night Elves worked to find the cause of their world's tree's ailment. Alright, I'm going to hold off because I think some of what this says is going to be slightly shown here, because part of what happens here during the starter zone is we are finding things that make us go, huh, that's interesting, and we start to see remnants of the Emerald Nightmare taint and corruption around here. It's also worth noting that this is actually something that Blizzard had been teasing since Vanilla. Remember, this was a starter zone in Vanilla. You can play through it in WoW Classic as well. And it's just worth noting in that regard that they had been kind of... One of the main storylines, kind of in the background in Vanilla, was about the Emerald Nightmare. Like, they were kind of teasing it and setting it up. It was plot lines and such that really had not been worked on and finished. In fact, they actually planned on doing some other separate story stuff in Vanilla for the Emerald Nightmare, but they just never got around to doing it. And they got focused on other things, you know, like on Karash, Noxramas, and of course then they were working on Burning Crusade. It's also worth noting they were still, I think, under the influence of Vivendi at the time. So let's just say things they wanted to do for one reason or another behind the scenes just didn't allow it to happen. That's why they eventually were able to finish up on this with the Emerald Nightmare when we got to Legion. So, anyways.
Hello.
A troubling breeze blows through the forest. Garrulus Talvarathan serves as Great Warden to the hibernating druids of the Talon in the Banathil Barrow Den. His duty as the chosen protector of the sleeping is to ensure their safety so that their pact with Ysera remains fulfilled. But word from Garrulus is now delayed, and I grow nervous. Travel east to Starbreeze Village and bring back a report from Garrulus so that I can put my worries to rest, knowing my dreaming brethren slumber safety. Some of our huntresses have already made their way to Banathil Barrow Den. They will find you when you get inside. Go ahead and speak to Sitair to secure a ride there.
Farewell.
So, of course, this is one of the first, like, inn hubs here. Trainers and such. Here's the Moonwell. There's the druid trainer right there.
What brings you here?
Greetings, druid. For what purpose do I owe the pleasure of our meeting? Ah, I see. You were sent by Teneron. Well then, it would seem we have much to talk about, much to do. Before we get to the task at hand, you should take in the lesson of this Moonwell. Let me tell you more of the task that you must complete. The druids in Darnassus. With Malfurion Stormrage gone, the druids were left in disarray and in desperate need of a new leader. Archdruid Fandral Staghelm roused the druids and convinced the circle of ancients in Darkshore that it was time for people to rebuild. So he's basically now saying what I just told you. It's basically Blizzard's way of trying to get the lore into the game, as opposed to having it just be like in the books and such. The druids in Darnassus use the water of the moonwells of Teldrassil, and their moonwell must be replenished from time to time. Using these specially crafted phials, you can collect the water of the moonwells. Take this vessel to the moonwell outside of Starbreeze Village to the east, and fill it with some of its waters, and then return to me. Pay heed to the lessons of the moonwells, lest we find ourselves furthering our shortcomings.
Good luck.
That's funny. You know, because it's the Night Elves, Night Elf Society. Anyways.
Elune Adore.
A friend of mine, Sister Aqueen, is training to be a priestess of the moon in Darnassus. She left Dalinar to study the temple last year. Her letters say that she's doing well and learning much, but she misses home and her old friends. I've put together a book of her favorite recipes from Dolinar. If you have time, would you take them to her in Darnassus? You can rent a hippogriff from Fidello. He's in the center of the town, just across from the inn.
Farewell.
I'll do this mainly because I do want to show Darnassus, just to remind people that there was an entire city in here. It's just one of those things where I feel like some people just straight up forgot. By the way, I set up some of my mounts, including one I just recently got, which I'm very happy about, because to me it's a great Night Elf mount. Which is funny, because we are a druid, so, you know, some people say, if you're a druid, you never use mounts. Well, that's very thoughtful. For a few coins, I can arrange quick transportation. Blah, 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 blah. Here's how you learn to use Flight Masters. We'll go ahead and do this real quick, just because I really want to once again show this off. Especially when we get in here. I feel like this should not need to be said. However, due to a lot of the reaction from a lot of the player base, I do want to reiterate that I and many other people who would call ourselves Horde players, though at this point I would say I am more of a bifactional player, but if you were to ask me, I mean, my heart still is with the Horde. But I have never once condoned what Sylvanas did here at all. I was irate. I was disgusted.
What brings you here?
Oh, this is wonderful. It's just the kind of thing that I need to remind me of home while I continue my studies in the Temple of the Moon. I'll try out one of the recipes tonight. I can't wait. Would you take this short note of thanks back to Naoma? You can hire a hippogriff. Yeah.
Good luck, friend.
Now, you're probably wondering, why is a Gilneas guy here next to the Darnassus one? That's because, well, I'll show this to you when we do our Gilnean, our Worgen. This is where we end up after the Worgen starter zone. We end up in Teldrassil, because the Night Elves are a big reason why the Worgen were able to deal with what happened to them. So I'm just kind of, for a moment, showing you guys some of this stuff. Over there is the Cenarian Enclave. That is actually an area that, because I did make a Night Elf Druid in WoW Classic to try out the starter zone, try out what it was like being a Druid, and that is where you go as a Night Elf Druid to do the quest. You gotta talk to someone up there. The quest when you get to level 10 to get your bear form. So that was a whole quest in its own. You had to go find this particular enemy in order to be able to learn how to acquire your bear form. So that is the Temple of the Moon. Here is the trade market area, the terrace, craftsman terrace. You notice all these buildings here? Like, some of these are markets and shops and such, but a number of these are just homes. The Howling Oak over there. Again, I'm only reiterating this because it seemed to me like when the burning in BFA happened, some people were just kind of like brushing it off, like saying, it was just a tree. And I would just be floored by that, saying, no, it was not just a tree. There were lots of things. Oh my gosh, really? I guess because I'm playing a druid. This is something that I guess pops up when you play a druid for the first time. So hey, we have gotten to level 8, and now we have cat form. Woo! And so yes, we gain the ability to shapeshift. Would you believe that Feral is the spec I have played the least when it comes to play druids? At least, well, somewhat. That may be true. I'm not entirely sure when I think about it. I don't know. I've played it some, but compared to how often I've played Resto, Balance, and Guardian as well, I don't know. At times, it just didn't really grip me. I think it was because when you play Feral, you're having to deal with the same type of resource system that like rogues use. Like you gotta, you have energy and combo points as opposed to mana or rage or whatever. And it was just kind of, it's a playstyle that it just doesn't seem to work for me. I want to give it another try though. Like I have a couple of other druids I may want to use that with, but just to show it off because we have it now. Ta-da! There's the Night Elf cat form. You can tell it's the Night Elf one with some of the little things on it. We have the little moon on our shoulder there. It's a really cool looking cat form. I really like it.
I need a target.
Ishnuala.
I was once given an emerald dreamcatcher from Gerlas Talvathan, the warden of the druids in the Bannathil Barrow Den. This powerful amulet is able to siphon energy from the emerald dream, bestowing luck upon those who carry it. Sadly, I have not been able to retrieve it from my dresser in Starbreeze Village. Although Starbreeze was once a tranquil place, it has now succumbed to the corruption of the furbog that reside there. Perhaps you would be willing to recover my dreamcatcher, druid?
May the star.
I'll see what I can do. Let's go ahead. Yep. Meow.
Hello.
Alright, there you go.
Be careful.
Alright, so now we have to mainly head over here. Gotta get fangs from a couple of night sabers, a couple of owls. Oh, and a couple of spiders. Lovely. Looks like there are plenty of those around, but someone else is doing that. I will help. There we go. And I will cast a heal on you. And that's one of the reasons I like playing a druid. Being able to cast heal on other players when they need it. Especially if they're not playing a class that doesn't have it. You know, like that guy was playing a hunter. I like that. The Night Saber was chasing a deer. Because of course it would.
Target. I need to get closer.
There we go.
I'm out of range.
Here is the moonwell that he wanted me to get the water from. The Archdruid approached the dragons for their blessings, as the dragons had placed on Nordrassil in ancient times. But Nosdormu, the Lord of Time, refused to give his blessing, chiding the druid for his arrogance. In agreement, Alexstrasza also refused Staghelm, and without her blessing, Teldrassil's growth has been flawed and unpredictable. Staghelm retreated to his enclave in Darnassus, ever seeking a new direction by which to bless Teldrassil and restore the immortality of our people. So that's actually, I forgot to mention, the Nosdormu thing is sort of a retcon. Like, that wasn't how it worked before. And then, I guess for Cataclysm, Blizzard changed it to say, no, it was actually Nosdormu that was the reason they had their immortality. Because he blessed it, because he's the aspect of time and such. Okay, Blizz, sure. We'll go with that. You want to go with that? Fine. It's not what it used to be, but okay. It's not like you're any stranger to retconning stuff. times I actually, I will agree and say that retconning stuff can be a good thing. Just look at Diablo. I'm serious. You look at the lore for Diablo 1, and then you look at the lore of Diablo 2, and it feels like it is completely different. And they did that even more so in Diablo, well, maybe not more so, but they continued to work on that in 3. Probably one of the more well-known about this is that the warrior in Diablo 1 was not just some random stranger who showed up or adventurer, but that was actually Warwick's son. Like, that wasn't, like, the case until Diablo 3 came out, and they decided to change that to try and have it add more to the story and such. Which is a little funny when you look at the some of the stuff leading up to Diablo 2, where Deckard Cain was like, we didn't even know his name. But anyways, let's get back to WoW, shall we? The Gnarlpine tribe's corruption has returned. They ambushed me as I left for the bandit little barrow den, and proceeded to pillage Starbreeze village. Something in the forest has corrupted Ursal the Mauler, their chieftain, and he's using the evil powers of the Felmoss to drive them mad. I am too wounded to return to Athridas to bring him this grave news. The task is left to you, young druid. We can only hope that the deranged Gnarlpines have not made it to Banithil yet. Okay. Let's also try and go get this dream catcher. Hello. Does he know how to attack it? No? No, I guess not. Oh hey, a small pouch. Got an extra 6-slot bag. Hey, there's his pet. Let's see. There it is. Right. Really? You didn't even bother? Okay. Sure. There we go. Now let's see. Gotta get one more owl feather. I need to get a couple more spiders. Alright, so the owls are neutral. They'll appear as yellow. And of course the spiders will be awesome. There's an owl.
I don't have a target.
Hey, a shadow priest. Alright, so I've got the 2 owl feathers. Now, I just need to get silk from a couple of spiders. I know there were some spiders up here. Yep. There's a couple right here. There we go. Ugh, I may regret this.
Don't touch me!
Have you been a busy little bee? I've been waiting for you to bring me what I need. Well done indeed. Who would have ever guessed that I, Zen Falhoof, would have a night elf to do my bidding? Certainly not me, but so it goes. This beloved world of ours is full of surprises. 3 cheers for the naive and the gullible. Probably shouldn't say that to my face. Just saying. Level 10. And now we have bear form. We can be a bear. In fact, we can now choose our spec. Alright, so we can either be balance and just kind of put dots, moonfire dots. We did also get star surge. I'm guessing later, yeah, level 20 we get moonkin. Blech. I'm sorry, I hate being the fat chicken. We could go feral, and we do get the dots. I could go guardian and just kind of run around as a tank. Maybe I should play resto. No. Do I want to run around and slash things like as a cat? Or do a big tough bear? Let's do that. Bear. Alright, so let me double check. Alright, I have them all. Okay. Alright, so of course you don't start off with that much. You don't get some of the really good stuff there, like, there's the auto attack. That's funny. I'm gonna get rid of that. That takes up a spot here. So we have Maul, which costs 40 rage and it's instant. And then we have Mangle, which generates rage. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that. So don't worry, I'm not gonna run around as the bear. So, at level 12, so by the way, we also get Earth Sign Adept, which means that they are usable in bear form. Moonfire, Soothe, Remove Corruption. We can Moonfire in bear form. Which reminds me, let's get that on one of our bars here. There we go. We will get Thrash at 12, our Taunt, Growl at 13, Revive at 14, as well as Teleport to Moonglade, but that won't be important.
Greetings.
Ah, my Emerald Dreamcatcher is of great importance to me. It is a gift only given to a few. Thank you for returning it. The Emerald. The Emerald! It is missing! My Dreamcatcher has been damaged! There is a band of Gnarlpine mystics located to the north of Starbreeze. I have heard reports that their leader, Ferocitus, the Dream Eater, has been wearing a necklace that glows green in the night. Now seeing my Dreamcatcher, I'm sure that he has stolen my emerald. He would never realize that its power is useless to him. Find this missing jewel, and while you're there, clear out some of the corrupted mystics as well.
Farewell.
Peace be with you.
The Council of the Forest has news that you aided Zen Falhoof. The satyr is an enemy of the forest. As a night elf, you should know better than to defile the forest by killing nature's creatures. Sorry? You must redeem yourself in the eyes of the council if you wish to remain a friend of Teldrassil. Okay. Just tell me what to do. Teach Falhoof a lesson, and you shall be redeemed. Fell cones are corrupted seeds that fall from the trees. They billow with green smoke. Give some to Falhoof. He'll think that you have brought him a harmless snack.
Maybe
I see. Okay, sure. I like that there's clearly a group here. One is a guardian bear, the other is a feral cat. It's a very common thing that you can see. And there's the fat chicken. I'm sorry. I hate that look. I hate the big fat chicken with antlers. It's one of the silliest, stupidest things I've ever seen in this game. I'm sorry if you love it, but man, I can't stand how that looks. There is a glyph that makes you keep your appearance that you've chosen, including your transmog, and you just look very astral, like you are part of the stars. It's a glyph you can use to replace your moonkin form, and I pick it like on my main druid, and I intend to do that on some of my other druids, though the Zandalari and Kultiran ones are actually not that bad.
Ishno,
By the stars, this is disturbing indeed. We've had troubles in the past with the corruption of the Furbolgs, but such troubles should be long past since the cleansing of Teldrassil. I fear for all of our people if the blessings of the aspects themselves cannot redeem our great tree. Alpine invaders were seen ravaging the Banithil Barrow Den, tucked in the hill to the west. The slumbering druids will be trapped in the Emerald Dream for eternity, unaware of their fate. Unless we help, the delicate hibernation ritual cannot be broken without the Relic's awakening. Journey to the den and retrieve the Ravenclaw talisman, Black Feather Quill, Sapphire of Sky, and the Rune of Nesting. The druids store them in sacred chests. Return them to me, and I will prepare the awakening ritual.
Dear Ladris.
Ishnu Allah.
The Gnarlpine aggression is limiting our options. None of our kind are eager to bring blade and arrow against creatures that were once our friends, but I grow fearful that they are going to set their sights on Dolanarg soon. The biggest concern to me are the Furbog in Banithil, Hallow, and Banithil Barrow Dens. I need you to travel to the west. Make your way into Barrow Den and kill as many of the Gnarlpine as you can. We probably won't have many more chances to limit their strength. Be swift.
Farewell.
Oh, hold on.
I'm listening.
Oh, hello. Don't mind the giant tree walking by. Tree? I am no tree. I am an ant. Hello again. Have you completed your task? It is only natural that our race, once immortal and revered, would struggle with regarding ourselves in the humbled manner that we likely should. We must remember to embrace our connection with nature and with Elune, and push aside our mortal shortcomings.
Go in peace.
Alright, so now... By the way, when do we get travel for? Probably a level 20. Aha. There's a fell cone. And there's another. And another. What's that from? I know that from somewhere. There's another. And another. And another. I love it when I know references so well, I can remember how they are said or sound, but I can't remember what they are from. Alright, let's go teach this satyr a lesson. Then we'll go get the emerald back.
Now what?
What do you have for me? Oh, a sweet night elf. I knew you would come in handy. Ribbit. No, this cannot, Ribbit. Be, you have done me with Ribbit. Your foul trickery, Ribbit. I love that just at times he couldn't stop himself from going, Ribbit. I'll teach you a lesson. By the way, later on in Darkshore, you get a quest to go kill him. Because he decides to get back up to no good, and they go, okay, we tolerated him, no more. Now you gotta go get rid of him. Permanently. By the way, I am considering, because you know how a number of us are planning on...
I don't have a target.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Let's see. Oh, there's the boss, so I'm gonna bring him over here. Oh. Okay, whatever. Let me get the heal here. Just so I can cast it while in bear form. We'll use... That one does not count. This one does, though.
I need to get closer.
Boy, there's an ability I can get later on where you can charge at your enemy with... Hold on. Sorry about that. The bear roars were actually drowning me out. What I was trying to say is that... Actually, you know what? I'll put them here. Just use them off my,
I don't have a target.
off my little, bindings on my mouse here. Okay, I need one more. It's not that one. Aha.
It is too far away.
Huh. Night Elf Rogue.
Target.
I'm just gonna top you off. Of course, that heal will keep on going. And that's one of the things I love about playing a Resto Druid. The amount of heals over time. I feel like I am better at just simply giving someone a heal, anticipating damage is coming, so that I can counter that, as opposed to waiting for the damage to be done, then cast the heal. You know, like, priests and holy paladins. It's also another reason, it's also why I like Mistweavers. But I'll talk more about that when we get to our Pandaren. Because of course we're going to play a Pandaren monk. Not going to be playing a Mistweaver though. I will talk about it. But more than likely we will be playing a Brewmaster. When we get to there. Have your emerald.
Peace be with you.
Now I can repair my dreamcatcher. Thank you. I must warn you, this matter must stay between us. The Satyr are enough of an embarrassment to us already, and this one is much too close to home. He is called Lord Melanas. He resides in the nearby cave of Fellrock to the north, where he has gathered a large group of Grell warriors. His heart is black as night, and he plots something most foul. You must find him within his nearby cave just to the north of here, and bring me his head.
Farewell.
Okay. Have I got anything that I could put on? Not yet. Yes, Cyril, what else do you have for me? I'm glad that you were willing to atone for your mistake. It speaks a great deal about your character. I have another task for you. I've gathered some ironroot seeds. They are somewhat like fell cones, but quite a bit more potent. Nature often responds very negatively to demons, and these ironroot seeds prompt a very concentrated form of that reprisal. To our north in Felrock, there are Grelkin that are far beyond redemption. Use the ironroot seeds to rout them before they become a more serious threat.
Goddess watch over you.
I see. Alright, well, we will be dealing with those when we return. Stay tuned.